She's basically the LeBron James. The kind of hype that LeBron came into the NBA with, Caitlin Clark came to the WNBA with the same type of hype. And she's backed it up.
Caitlin Clark changed the WNBA. It's okay. It's okay to say that. You're not diminishing what the founding, fathers of the WNBA did. You're not.
Caitlin Clark has basketball legends like Shaquille O'Neal, Larry Bird, and Michael Jordan talking like never before. The way she plays has captivated fans across the country, and it all starts with Allen Iverson, who sees a lot of himself in her. Iverson loves the fire Clark brings to the court, the same intensity he played with during his own career. She scores effortlessly and makes defenders look silly, much like Iverson did in his prime. And though she...
Man, shoot the blood out of the ball. You know what I mean? I never seen anything like it. You know what I mean? And then just how aggressive she is, and not just scoring in basketball, getting her teammates involved as well. I think she's so great for the game.
She's not the biggest or strongest player out there. Clark earns respect through her sheer skill. Iverson believes she's just getting started. If that's not impressive enough, wait until you hear what Magic Johnson had to say about her potential.
Ask you about these WNBA players, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, who many are saying are the Larry Bird and Magic Johnson of the WNBA. Do you like that when you hear that?
I like it, and they are.
Magic thinks Clark could become the greatest WNBA player of all time.
Now, Caitlin, her teammates got to come to her defense.
Sure.
You can't allow her to have to fight every battle.
Sees her rivalry with Angel Reese as reminiscent of his legendary battles with Larry Bird. Magic also pointed out that Clark's teammates need to protect her from bullies in the WNBA next season. But here's where things get really interesting. The numbers behind Clark's impact are staggering. Former NBA coach George Karl compared her to Julius Dr. J. Irving, saying she has the potential to change the WNBA just as Dr. J transformed the ABA and NBA. The proof is in the attendance numbers. Clark and the Indiana Fever drew bigger crowds than 3 NBA teams: the Charlotte Hornets, Memphis Grizzlies, and Washington Wizards. When the Fever played away, attendance skyrocketed. The Atlanta Dream saw a 431% increase in crowd size. The Washington Mystics grew by 311%, and the Minnesota Lynx saw a 131% rise. Even big-market teams like the Los Angeles Sparks and Seattle Storm saw crowd increases of 60 to 80% when Clark came to town. This is no fluke.
Victor, who's a WNBA player that inspires you, and what makes her stand out to you?
I think Caitlin Clark.
Finds Clark from the logo. Clark behind the back. Oh, it's Smith with the finish.
When she was in college, the only college player that I was really in awe of the game,
Pulls it back, knocks it down.
I'm saying men and women's college basketball, she's probably the most impressive I've seen.
Caitlin Clark is a generational talent. Victor Wembanyama, who knows a thing or two about hype, tipped his hat to Clark after her incredible rookie season. Wemby, widely regarded as the best NBA prospect since LeBron James, watched Clark handle the pressure like a seasoned pro and win Rookie of the Year unanimously, just like he did.
I can describe it firsthand, having played her 2 years in a row in the playoffs. She's a generational talent. She's a young lady that you just can't take your eyes off of when you watch her play. And I know all of Iowa is proud of her, as they should be.
But perhaps the most powerful praise came from someone who used to be Clark's biggest rival. Coach Kim Mulkey, who faced Clark twice in the NCAA tournament, has seen firsthand just how special she is. After Clark dropped 41 points against Mulkey's LSU team in the Elite Eight, Mulkey said something that truly speaks to Clark's greatness. "Thank goodness I don't have to see you anymore." Coming from a legendary coach like Mulkey, that's a huge compliment. Rashad McCants, a former NBA player.
Caitlin, and there's no shade to Angel. It's just what Caitlin has to face on a nightly basis of like them trying to stop
Number
her.
one on scattering.
Like they like
Yes.
you like she can't get equal opportunity as everyone else because then she would average I think she would average 25, 26 a game because you're not trying to gear the scouting report to stop her. Like Angel Reese, I feel like they're not giving her as much of a strenuous assignment when it comes to scouting report because she's going to do what she does. She rebounds. It's hard to stop somebody.
Has been rooting for Clark from day one. He's been vocal about her greatness, even when others were talking about the MVP race. McCants was one of the first to say they're going to respect her, whether they like it or not. Even after Aya Wilson won MVP, McCants kept celebrating everything.
You women out there, y'all petty, man. Hey, LeBron, you're 100% right on these girls hating on Caitlin Clark. Y'all petty, girls. I expect men to be petty because we're the most insecure group in the world.
Thing Clark did. Knowing this was just the beginning, then, Charles Barkley, who played college basketball at Auburn, jumped in to defend Clark. Barkley's noticed some jealousy as Clark entered the WNBA but is quick to speak up for her.
Reprehensible what they're allowing some of these players. Anybody that does something flagrant to this young lady for what she's brought to the game should be suspended and fined big time for doing that. Think about it, y'all.
He even had a message for her critics in the league. Rick Barry also made sure to back up Clark, calling out anyone disrespecting her game and emphasizing the importance of protecting her from rough fouls. Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce have been buzzing about Clark on their podcast. Garnett had this to say, "This is the first time in college basketball where I know more girls than guys. She could go through any neighborhood and score. She dropped 10 points in an NBA game. She can shoot, and she's got the skills." Even Stephen A. Smith has had Clark's back, praising not just her talent but the way she represents basketball.
Oh, by the way, still stupid a Team USA to not have on a team. You want to grow women's basketball globally? How do you have an Olympics competition this year without Caitlin Clark on it? I called your fools then. And one of these days, you're going to fess up and admit we were damn fools for not having Caitlin Clark on the 2024 Team USA Olympics.
The ball as a whole. He said, "She looked out for everybody. That's why I call her a sister. Because she looked out for the sisters, and everyone else in between. What makes Caitlin Clark so special is how she plays. She hits shots from deep, makes passes that leave you in awe, and changes the way teams approach the game. Coaches everywhere are taking notes. Caitlin Clark's game is changing the way people think about basketball, especially when it comes to defense. Much like Steph Curry transformed the NBA with his deep shooting, Clark's pull-up threes from way beyond the arc have defenders scrambling. Her impact on the game is undeniable, and the numbers only tell part of the story. Clark's jersey sold more than any rookie in WNBA history, and her social media presence has been just as powerful, drawing the kind of attention some NBA teams get. When she plays on TV, the ratings soar. Simply put, Caitlin Clark has been great for business. Merchandise sales are up across the WNBA, and brands are now lining up to work with women's basketball in ways we've never seen before. Some say Clark has advanced the league's growth by years, and that's not an exaggeration. Larry Bird, a legend in Indiana basketball, is thrilled with what Clark brings to her home state. He says she sparked excitement about basketball all over again, and he respects how she honors the game's rich history. Kids everywhere, boys and girls, are now trying to copy Clark's deep threes and quick releases. Coaches have noticed this trend, and it's...
Jack was asked about Caitlin Clark's Time Athlete of the Year award, and he must have got the script robbed because he credited everybody.
It's clear. Caitlin Clark is shaping the future of basketball. Time magazine even named her their Athlete of the Year, joining the ranks of icons like Simone Biles, Lionel Messi, and LeBron James. That's some serious company. Through all this, Clark has stayed grounded. All the basketball legends who meet her agree on one thing.
For this next chapter, when you look at the next year? Oh gosh, I think that's hard. I think obviously I want to be a WNBA champion one day. I want to be an Olympics gold medalist one day. I think those are all goals that I've wanted since I was a young girl. That I wrote down on a piece of paper, so I think those are the biggest things. And, you know, nobody said they're going to happen right away when I first entered the league. I think just learning, working hard, you know, going to a franchise and helping elevate women's basketball more than anything. But, like, don't lose the fun and the passion of the game. Like, that's the reason I've always played, and continuing to bring that with me.
She just loves playing the game and wants to keep improving. Despite the rapid rise to fame, she handles it all with a level of maturity that's rare for someone her age. Even Shaquille O'Neal, who was once a bit skeptical, came around. Shaq, a close friend of Angel Reese, had his doubts, but after Clark earned Time's Athlete of the Year, he couldn't help but give her credit. He said, "Congratulations to her. She's a fabulous player." Looking ahead to 2025, Clark has her sights set on a championship with the Fever. After helping them make the playoffs for the first time since 2016, she's not satisfied with just getting there. She wants more. The stats speak for themselves. She finished 4th in MVP voting as a rookie, made the All-WNBA first team, and was named to the All-Rookie team. But it's more than the stats that set her apart. It's the way she's transforming the game, with basketball legends praising her and fans packing arenas. Caitlin Clark is taking women's basketball to new heights. She's not just living up to the hype, she's creating an entirely new standard for what's possible, and it's not just the big names talking about Clark. NBA players who didn't usually follow the WNBA are now tuning in. Former NBA champion Rick Fox put it best, "I'm watching WNBA games I never planned to watch, just to see this young lady work her magic. She's got that special something that makes you stop what you're doing and pay attention." Clark's impact is also being felt by the younger generation. Coaches across the country have reported a huge increase in girls' basketball enrollment since Clark's rise to fame. In one Indiana town, a girls' program doubled in size, with players showing up in Clark's number 22 and practicing her famous long-range shots. Looking to the future, the excitement around Clark is only growing. People aren't just excited about what she'll do next year. They're talking about how she might shape the future of women's basketball for years to come. Some even believe she could be the first WNBA player to land a signature shoe deal as big as the NBA stars. Others think she could help the league expand by bringing new teams to cities that want to see her play. To hear what Larry Bird, Steph Curry, and Steve Kerr have to say about Caitlin Clark, click here.